Well, hello, and welcome to my Whiskey Den, your favorite public access whiskey review show where craft whiskey is king and a proud part of the Bar Card Co-op. Now, thank you everyone for stopping in tonight. We got little Santa stuff back there. And I'm on my phone, so I'm having a hard time reading. I'm feeling like Grandpa without bifocals right now. This is just some issues on the gift show, but that's okay. That's okay. We have a whole list of stuff going on. Before we go any further, though, Mike, what do you want to tell these lovely people?
Don't forget to. Damn it!
Yeah,
I'm in the wrong spot.
How, is that better?
Wait. It doesn't matter. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, hit the thumbs up that you say you like it. If you're watching this live, interact with the chat, the nice folks that are in there. If you're watching it afterwards, leave a comment down below. It just helps people find us, and we'd like to hear from you.
Good. Thank you, everyone in the chat. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up. There's different screens to switch all the way. Oh, my goodness. There's a bunch of people out there. It's good to see every single one of you. Man, that's exciting. I like that. Because
everybody's coming in for the shop.
That's right. This is well. What do you want? I mean, do you want some cheesy necktie or do you want something decent? I want something decent. So what do you? What? It's true.
It's true. It's very true.
I can be on top. I can switch that for you, Mitch.
Hey.
Mitch, there you go.
Hey,
feeling better now. I do feel the bottom. I feel all powerful. So thank you, everyone, for stopping in. I'm going to pour a little sip of some Leopold Brothers Maryland-style rye whiskey here. This is where I'm starting out this evening. Mike, Ben, what are you guys sipping on before we start handing out gift ideas for today or for the holiday season?
I'm going to have, since it's gift, I'm going to have a whiskey that was gifted to me that it turns out I kind of like. Bradshaw.
Oh, really? You have that one?
I do. A friend gave it to me. He's like, here, check this out. And I got to say, I kind of like it. It's enjoyable. It's not great. But it's enjoyable. It's got a good proof to it. And it's Terry freaking Bradshaw. Forever my quarterback.
It is. And Renita, yes, I do. So, Ben?
Pat's what us big people call a spinner.
Ben, what are you sipping on tonight? I saw you got some decent haul over the weekend.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out what I'm going to go, what direction I want to go. I had a few bottles sitting here, so and some good coffee.
All right. No, Mike, what do you think you want to start off with? What's one of your gift ideas for the spirit-minded person?
Well, I'd say first thing for a spirit-minded person is you've got to have something to drink. And there's different ways for you to get something to drink and different ways that you can help that person to do it. And so a couple of ideas that I had, some people have done this, I know in the chat, but these guys, Flaviar. Now, I will say Flaviar doesn't necessarily have the best prices all around. They do have things that you can't find somewhere else. Sometimes their prices, I think, were okay. You are paying for the membership. It does let you get their a sample kit once a quarter that you do it. The sample kits are a really good way for someone to explore and find out something that they wouldn't normally get. They could get a sample kit of Irish. There's been American ones. There's been just peat, other oddball things. And sometimes that sample kit could have something that you either can't buy in a bottle, or if you could buy it in a bottle, it's $200 and you're not going to go spend $200 on that. For that, I think it's really good for exploring. Another option would be the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, which is another membership. I think it's about $100 a year. And then you buy the bottles as they come up, and they are all single barrel picks, named elusively in their coding as far as who it is, and then named on their flavors. I am not a member of it. It's something I'd like to be able to get to, because I know what'll happen is it's not just the membership. It's when those bottles come up, you're going to be like, it's, 150 here, 200 here. If you're lucky, you could get one for 100. But they've done, in recent year and a half, they've done more American whiskeys, including Balcones. So I think that's pretty cool. Another option I think for people to get is buy a gift certificate for some place like Sealbox. Sealbox has, I'd say, I won't say 100%, I'll say 99% craft whiskey, which we like. And it's not just craft whiskey, it's craft spirits. They've got, they always end up with something interesting, their own single barrel picks, other oddball things that there's no way you're going to get anywhere else. So I think that's a good option for people. And the other thing for bottles, go to your local store. If you're going to go out of town to visit a family, go to a local store and find a single barrel pick from your area and take it to them. Knob Creek single barrel picks are plentiful, as are single barrel picks from local distilleries and the Maker's Mark single barrel picks, things like that.
Pretty standard. Whoa.
I've already heard some wonderful people really excited to get those puzzles from Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
Especially the first year that you could maybe get like a sample of something in the mail from them or something.
I usually get my Maker stuff late, so I hear what's coming, ahead of time. So there's no anticipation for me at all. So
I've already heard a couple
really
of
no
rants about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and along Mike's lines, I was going to say one of the things I had in here as well too was Sealbox, just because of the fact that we explore so much craft stuff. And if you just go straight to their site, which is at sealbox.com, you will see it. Like on the first row going down, it's all, if you haven't been into it and you've just been into the big brand names, you probably won't recognize 80% of what's on there. And that's fantastic, because there's a vast majority of it that's one of the ways that a lot of people around the country can get some of that stuff. I mean, that's how I got Rua not the first time, but when I got my first bottle legitimately.
That's the only way I can get Rua.
Yeah. No mule or anything involved. So I was going to say that's one that Blake does a really good job. And if you get onto the site, you get into like the single barrel picks and other stuff that he does a little bit deeper. We've had him on the show. We like what he's doing. Yeah. So I had to second that. Ben, is there what's something that you think is good to get someone that likes some, let's be honest, like some booze?
I think, well, the thing is, typically with gifts, everybody's buying things, right? So typically, we get somebody some glassware, we get them, bottles of booze or whatever. I'm leaning more towards give somebody an experience. And by that, you can break this down depending on your budget and depending on what that person wants. Everything from, pay for them to go on a tour to local distillery. There's all kinds of bourbon groups having tastings and hosting special events, different things like that. Check into those things locally. Get them a ticket to a special tasting event to let them experience something new. Or you could even, ratchet out the big bucks and pay for a class or two at Moonshine U and send them out to get a good education and go on a much more deeper dive. Or, let them get qualified with Stave and Thief and become a bourbon steward. So there's different experiences out there, different levels, different money wise, that instead of just the typical, here's your whiskey, here's some glassware, here's something that typically, here's a new flask. go for the experience. Let somebody have, take their education deeper, and those experience things are something you usually always remember. So
I was talking about that with someone around here. They brought up Northern Waters when they had their, like, you go up there, be like a distiller for a day, but it's really more like a weekend event that you go in and learn a lot of the process and start distilling, start learning how to distill your own stuff. And then there's another one where you can actually come back and pick all your own grains that you want to put in it, come back and distill that, what you want, put it in a barrel, and wait and decide when you want to take it out. That's a fantastic idea. And there's other places doing something really similar. And that's, like you said, that's a beyond experience if you're doing something like that. There's a lot of connection. But when you're talking tickets to an event, I had one. I had a little Distill America's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
If you haven't got your ticket or tickets to that, that would be something well worth taking your time. Once they become available, going on over there and picking them up. Get them for them. I'll be happy if Sherry gets that for me. That's a fantastic birthday or Christmas present or Hanukkah, whatever religion, spiritual thing I have to be in to get some free tickets. I'll take them. So.
And he means anything, folks.
Right.
Jeez.
Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster or whatever.
I don't think so, but maybe. So let's see here. I had another thing that you could also get that I found that I really enjoyed after I got it. Fairly inexpensive, about $25, $27, is some Stave and Bean coffee.
There you go.
I was gonna say, and that can ship right to your house, no problems, no nothing.
Yep.
I was gonna say we got some Colombia in there. I got the Curacao barrel. That was fantastic. I'm letting other people try it. Corey's out there. He's pouring at Frankfurt there. I gotta get used to this, but you gotta swing your head out. Just that way Mike's the only one kind of blocked out by these pictures. Sorry, Mike.
I'm at Corey's crotch.
I was gonna say,
Hey, you leave the swamp squirrels nuts alone.
Yeah.
He's pouring it on my face.
But that's something that it's, once again, a little tangent offshoot of that a whiskey person I think would really enjoy, especially if they're already into coffee, and a lot of people kind of cross over that realm. It has some really neat flavors that you don't think would be picked up as in depth as they are.
Right.
I expected them to be a little more muted or background, and a couple of them were pretty surprising. Now, I am more of a coffee, I want to say novice, but like as far as drinking coffee black or just straight, more so. I had sugar and other bullshit on top. It wasn't really coffee. It was a fake drink I was drinking. So now that I've started having a little bit more of actual coffee, I'm pretty damn impressed. So not too expensive, something you can add in there, or you could just have it for Christmas morning. That little twist for everyone getting up that morning is something a little bit different. A little hair of the dog without pouring any in it. So sometimes people can't handle it.
Or you can pour something in it.
Yeah, you do you.
Maybe you need that to get through Christmas morning.
So one of the things, when Ben mentioned the as an experience, one of the things that I recommended that people buy, because they come in really handy, are sample bottles.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's many things you can do with the sample bottles, these nice little 2-ounce jobs that they find themselves all over the United States for all kinds of reasons. And when you meet
nobody
up,
knows how they get there.
They magically appear. Or get some of the larger 8-ouncers if you're going to do bottle splits with people. Or even get into the 4s if you're really generous with somebody, or for cocktail work. But one thing that I've done the past few years with a group of friends of mine is I make them advent calendars, and I've done blind advent calendars with it. So they're labeled underneath, and then there's a black label on top that just says Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or whatever day it is. So then they pull it off. They can, sample it, check it out, and enjoy it that way. So, and sample bottles are nice because, if everybody's got sample bottles and if everybody's swapping sample bottles, then you're always replenishing your sample bottles. But sometimes you don't go through them fast enough to replenish them. So you do have to buy them. But they do come in really handy. They're under $1 a piece, for a bottle, for a pretty good sized bottle. So I highly recommend that for sharing and exploring with people.
Hey, that's just a good gift in general if you know someone who likes whiskey, because that's one of those extra costs that you're like, not a big deal, but it was a bottle that month, that you didn't get to spend that way.
Yes.
Unicorns and fairies. That's right.
Yeah. Or as John might have received some meal kits or salad samples.
I got a meal kit too. The whole damn thing shook pretty good.
I'm pretty stocked up on
pasta in it. That's all they need to know.
Pretty stocked up on macaroni. Thanks, Mike.
6 pieces at a time.
I'm almost to a whole meal.
Almost got 1 spoonful.
Yep.
Oh shit. You had a whole bunch of the bottles up there, I think. Or am I just crazy?
No, I had 3 different sample bottle pictures, but I do have one more obviously for enjoyment because you have to drink it out of something.
Right.
And there's a couple of good applications for it. I did not want one of these, but I was gifted one of them by my kids. And I got to say, if you are pre-making a cocktail to take somewhere, one of these bad boys or very similar is awesome. Especially if you're only going to throw a little bit of ice in there because you don't want to water it down. You want to keep it cold. That sucker works great. A few years ago, I got one of these. And this glass, I freaking love this glass. It is the shape of a Glencairn on the inside. It's aluminum. You can drop it. It doesn't get damaged. It's all coated stainless steel on the inside. It's a great glass to drink out of. It's, Glencairns I think are really weird to hold. This is nice to hold. It's kind of like holding a rocks glass. It's got decent weight to it. I wholeheartedly recommend getting one of these. It's like $22 for one of these glasses. They are great. I take one with me when I have to go somewhere. If you want to get crazy fancy, which I didn't dig mine out, is get a custom whiskey glass for somebody.
Yeah. And
I got one from this guy, Andrew Lazenby at Blue Goose in North Carolina. Or no, he's South Carolina, maybe South Carolina. Anyway, he does custom whiskey glasses, and they are hand blown glasses. Everything is unique. There's probably somebody local artisan you could find that does glass like that, but it's really cool. I only break that one out on special occasions for obvious reasons, but it's pretty cool, to have that glass that is unique, that was, that is mine and mine alone, and special and precious to me.
I'll say, even if it's one that's just etched.
There you go.
I was going to say, it's pretty cool. Let me get this over here. Yeah, that's the old My Whiskey Den logo. We have to get a new one now.
Right.
We'll update it. And yes, Renita, it is dishwasher safe.
Yes,
it's
great.
That thing just looked cool. It would look like a great camping glass for like a cocktail instead of being like that gigantic like mug size version of stuff. Or if you're going to a football game, that looked like the perfect serious tailgating glass.
It's just an aluminum glass is all it is, but it's nice with the size of it. Even in any chair that I've sat in, folding chair that's got the drop down cup holder and stuff, this fits in all of them. It's nice. You don't have to worry about it. It's easy to pick stuff out. Again, if you drop it, you're not going to hurt it. It was a great gift, and I would recommend buying one for somebody. They're pretty sweet.
That looks like a perfect glass, because you can travel, you can do whatever with it, not have to worry about breakage and all that. And then with it being like it is, it's good for doing some blind tastings and whatnot. We're completely blind to what's in the glass. So
very true.
So Kevin was stealing my thunder there a little bit with the small barrel recommendation. Damn it, Kevin. because that was going to be one of my suggestions. Is as we've discussed on the show in the past, doing some of the mini barrel aging and finishing experiments for somebody who likes to play around, like to take their whiskey experience to the next level. Yeah, it's easy to pick up some mini barrels, different sizes. They're everything from like 1 liter up to 5 liter size or bigger. And they're a lot of fun to play around with. There are certain limitations to it. You have to understand that. But, something that now that Corey and John are doing this whole barrel-aged coffee bean thing, a friend of ours, Jen Lamb, has done the same thing or is doing the same thing with the mini barrel. And that I was just like, I hadn't even thought of that before. So there's a whole other thing. Throw some bourbon in there, age some bourbon or some rum or do something fun, empty it out. Now fill it with some coffee beans and do your own barrel-aged coffee beans. So there's just a lot of fun, cool things you can do with those mini barrels. And, they're not very expensive. So they'd make a great gift as well.
And you usually only get maybe, how many uses do you think you get? 3 or 4 maybe?
You can get more than that. It depends on, it's, once again, you're really limited only by your imagination. So if you can sit down and plot out, first I'm going to fill it with bourbon and then let's refill it with, say, an Irish or a Scotch or something. And then you can move on from there, refill it with a tequila, do some port or sherry in it and then go with whiskeys. So there's just a whole, I've gotten probably 7, 8 uses at least out of a single barrel before. If I plan it out right before you start to just things get a little too mixed up, a little too mushed up.
Well, my thought on that is then if you're thinking ahead, because we're whiskey nerds on this show, that's probably most of the people out there.
Right.
You could almost be planning your whiskey or spirits progression and then layering the flavors in there. And then say by like the 4th entry being like, okay, this is where I'm putting the beans in. And then go back to the bourbon afterwards to see if you pick up any of the coffee flavor off of the beans. Sorry, I got excited for a second.
Yep. So I've got new ideas.
Blew my own mind. Woo! Shit. Sorry, I got excited there.
Yeah, people are talking about the flask. Flasks are a great idea, and especially if you're really, really lucky, if you get one like our buddy at Ranger Creek, that they came out with this one for their 10th anniversary. It came in a flask. Which is killer because it splits apart along with having the really sweet glass bottle full of delicious juice. It's 2 tumblers.
Right. And that's a reusable decanter.
Yes.
Inside there too. And what was even more cool was the label for the whiskey you can just peel right off so that whatever future use you want, you've got it.
Pretty sweet.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Honey in a rye barrel would be a good way to go with that. All right, here. Let me switch back over because there was someone else that I wanted to bring up that recently got availability to ship to 41 states. Before they were having problems just getting out of their state and a couple other ones. But Cole Keegan or Santa Fe Spirits now has the ability for you to hop online, order their booze, and they can send it to your house. So that is absolutely stupendous. You know how we felt about the cask strength and the sherry finish. Not to say the gin and everything else isn't fantastic, but, those 2 were damn impressive. And so now there's just another year behind that on those. So that is definitely something I would consider doing. It's on my list is to head on over there. And if you happen to actually be in Santa Fe or going to the distillery, coming to or fro, they have a sample pack. There's only 100 of them, but it's all 4 whiskeys, 200 milliliter bottles, and I think it was like around 100, maybe $120. I don't want to speak. I don't remember it, but I was like, one of those things. I was like, if you haven't had them, that tasting kit would be phenomenal for an evening. But just the fact that you can get that now delivered to your door, if you like smoky kind of peaty scotches, it's not quite up that alley. It is the mesquite flavor that you get out of it, but it is very similar. I think it's one of those things like with Ranger Creek, it's American smoke or Andalusia. It's like there's a different variant to it, but it does, that mesquite wood does kind of layer in. So I would be hitting up Cullen's website and
Yes,
picking up a bottle or two there.
Right.
if you have not had it, it is delicious, sensual smoke. And that cast strength Colkegan is in a blind, you would not say this is an American whiskey. You would probably not think that it was made the way it was made. It's very nice.
Alan hits an American classic here. And Alan, please don't ever say Pump Heaven Hill again. Phrasing. But anyway, eggnog, I think that makes a great gift. The Heaven Hill eggnog or any other brand, but why not make it yourself? The Alton Brown eggnog recipe is simple. It's fantastic. And, you can make a big batch of it and gift that around.
Mason jars?
Yeah.
Very plausible way to do that. I haven't made eggnog. That could be a whole nother show. I know Ben loves this stuff.
Oh, my God, yes. Alan got to try some of my eggnog already, so.
Oh. I don't know what happens in Kentucky anymore.
It's Indiana, man. Indiana.
It's Indiana. Whatever.
Who's your occupied Northern Kentucky?
It's close enough.
So the other thing, which Donnie brought up about doing glasses and doing custom etched ones, you can, and you can etch them yourself too.
Right.
You need to mask it off. You can buy armor etch, and you can do, this one I did, one of the rocks glasses with the Ministry of Silly Walks all around the rocks glass. I've done a few others too. It's not difficult if you're very careful with your masking or you're good with the brush. But you can definitely do it at home. Go to a thrift store, buy some sweet glasses and do things on it. Or, put something obscene on it. I'm not saying I've done it. I'm not saying I haven't.
Not you, Mike. Never.
Is Jolie getting the glass?
No, but that's not a bad idea. It's only you can etch in color.
Can we make one for Andy with a donkey on it?
Yeah.
To go with all of his other donkeys.
Right.
Which that does bring up another topic or something for a spirits person is maybe something for them to pair with would be food or cigars.
Right.
That's true. That gets a little trickier, but just having a cigar with your whiskey, if you haven't done it before, is a unique experience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like the food pairing thing too. That all kind of falls into create an experience for someone. That's the Christmas gift, or the coming over to the party and experiencing the evening is more of the gift, which I like that anyways. I like that whole idea of the gathering being more of the important factor. If you're gonna spend the wow, spend it on the people.
Right. So.
Yeah. And that was kind of one of the other ones I had on my list was do something for someone, like do, a spouse or significant other is not necessarily going to be all in with spirits like their spouse is or significant other. So maybe you can weasel in and say, I've got an idea. How about if I take him or her for a day and we go and hit these places? I'll take them off of your hands and we'll go. I'll take one for the team and do distillery tours or distillery trips. So, go meet somebody, work a surprise trip out with someone and say, yeah, so-and-so is going to take you and you guys are going to go hang out at a distillery and go try this thing and go and do that. And then, you win and they win. And, maybe the spouse or significant other wins because they don't have to go.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Ooh. Sorry, I poured some limestone branch. I wasn't ready for the little bit of punch there. It's 100% malted rye, so it kind of threw me off there for a second.
Speaking of donkey.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's got actually a really nice earthy almost like oatmeal note to it coming out of
Right.
this one.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. I don't know. As far as other gifts, there's one or two. I'm kind of saving one for a little bit here because it's a big one. It's one that I'm excited about that I'm going to be able to get once we get this damn logo figured out. But the other thing that I always thought was neat was if we were talking about stuff the other day about being able to get online with people and chat with people and do stuff, and how some people you have a qualm about it before you do it because you're worried about your camera not working well or anything, or just having to use your goddamn phone because you're a moron and left your computer at work. The picture looks fine. You know what I mean? If you're really concerned and you want to get a mic or something like that, there's a lot of small, simple equipment that will help you out. I was going to say, and don't be afraid to get into chats or groups, or get involved in different things, and have it be a visual experience, not just keyboard warriors. Not there's anything bad. I'm not dissing the chat right now. I love every one of you. But I was going to say,
You know what you did.
but being able to have that little bit of a little bit more in-depth experience, or that little bit more of a touch to something when you're talking about stuff, it makes it all that better. And if you need a little piece of equipment make you feel good about it, go grab it. For most of it, a lot of people are spending that much money on booze that little extra bit on the equipment every here or there is not a big deal.
Right.
So sorry, I don't know where that kind of left field did. So my last big thing that I am excited about getting myself here is Matt Bay's old Bay signs. I was gonna say he was on the show. If you didn't see it, he makes hand carved signs, pretty much to whatever you want, or barrel heads. Oops, I must have been on Mike's thing. So sorry, slid up. Couldn't see on the tiny ass screen. And they're fantastic.
Spoiling
I was going to say
surprises.
he keeps getting better and better with what he's doing. He's getting a little bit busier and busier with different shows and stuff he's going to. So I think that's an outstanding way to have something unique in your house. For a couple $100, you have something really cool on the wall that's not just your standard cookie cutter, distillery logo from the big boys, like 10, 12 standard ones. It's something personal. You could have it say, something about you, something about, family members or a group. You can have it have that personal touch to it on the wall. Which I think
because you could get a barrel head from a distillery that you don't like. Maybe you outgrew their stuff, or you just don't like it anymore. You're stuck with that barrel head until you do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
You look like a schmuck.
So you gotta air blast, have Matt sand it off and start over.
That's right.
Right.
Put something else on it. Make it yours. That there's plenty of people that have happened to. But
Just a few.
So at the new house, I'll be working with Matt on that. I just need to get the new logo, and I think that's something that, what we were talking about doing with him was having the logo and then having signatures around the outside of different people who had been on the show, guests, and obviously the co-hosts here. And I think that's something, if you were doing it for yourself, no matter what you were putting on it, being able to put something like that in the lower corner, or people of your group, or your little mini community, if you will. Like I said, it just adds an extra touch to it. Or you can go flashy as hell. You saw some of the stuff he's done. You can go big, if you want. So I think that it's a fantastic way to spruce up the wall or your space and have it be personalized rather than just being, I don't know. I'm not always against the big brand guys, but I can't help it here. get something special. Unless you absolutely love them, I got nothing against it. I would hang a Four Roses single barrel on my wall. I like them.
And that's honestly one of the next things that I was going to bring up was Distillery Swag. For if you know what their favorite is, or places that they go, or things that they like, you can go even simple with the glass.
Yep. You
could go even crazier. Get a really awesome sweet distillery hat from someplace. Some Elmer Fudd Deerhammer hat. Something that's cool and kind of cool and unique with the swag.
You better be wearing that this
challenge
weekend.
Coins. I'll bring So challenge coins are a good one. Like there's one from Glens Creek. I am a whore for Glens Creek whiskey. If you haven't had it, you have to have it. If you've had it, you know what I'm talking about. But you get some, or even supporting not just distillery, but get them a Texas Whiskey Trail membership. Maybe they only get to go to 2 distilleries in the next year, but who cares? They'll go, they get their membership, they get their t-shirt, they get their Glencairn, they get the, keep track of points that they'll never redeem, things like that. But it seems like a lot of people have challenge coins and stuff. They're kind of fun. If you do use them for covering up your Glencairn. Dude, Golden Beaver's got some good stuff too. They're not playing around. It's cool. Everything's tongue in cheek. It's very well done. Yep. And if you do, if you post pictures online and stuff, you have, like Glens Creek, they like a poster coin next to our drink if you're having it, and then they want to share it and they want to give you credit for the photos that are put up on there. That's cool. Local places. This is one, I got, this was a gift, but I love it. One of the Irish Tua glasses or Tua, how I don't know how you say it. It doesn't matter. It's kind of a fun glass, but this is from Brown's Irish, which is, it's the oldest Irish business outside of Ireland. And it's here in Kansas City. These glasses are kind of cool to drink out of, but you're supporting a local business on top of that. And, when you're drinking your fancy Irish in a fancy Irish glass, you feel a little extra Irish.
All right. I have something. How do you, and this is just not something I'm recommending, but how do you guys feel about whiskey stones? Because that's out there, and that's a gift that comes up for a lot of people, and I am a negative on it.
Yeah, personally,
I don't like about them is putting them in the glass, because I have chipped a glass, gingerly putting a whiskey stone into a glass.
That stinks.
That's my only negative.
Right.
I don't know. I think that's something, if people wanted them, you can get them on your own.
Yeah.
It's
from everyone I've heard that have gotten them, and I have too. They end up sitting in the box, and they don't really come out they're not used as frequently as what you'd think. But there's not. Yeah. You'd have to be someone who likes a lot of stuff with watered down, or chilled, and I'm not necessarily that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Same way. And I've heard some, but I guess maybe they're not quite as cold as people like with ice too. So, I did receive them once as a gift. I think they ended up getting re-gifted because I just
exactly right. They never made it out of the packaging.
Right. It's just not. I drink my whiskey neat, and I actually like to kind of warm it up. I usually hold that glass in the palm of my hand, like you do a brandy or a cognac or something, and I like it warm because I like those aromatics coming out more. The only thing I like cold is, if I'm having an old fashioned or something like that, a cocktail, then yes, but I want a nice big piece of ice in there. But whiskey stones, just, I don't know, just not. I think the idea is kind of, okay, this is cool, but it just doesn't do it.
The chat's in unanimous agreement about that.
Right.
Down with the whiskey stones.
Yeah, I mean, get someone, if someone likes to have a little ice, get them a cool ice mold, get them a big ice ball. If they're a Star Wars fan, get them a Star Wars mold or something like that.
Right.
Get just something that it's a little more practical and fun than those, because I know they have stainless steel ones too. I've seen ones that are bullets. That just
Right.
seems like that's really gonna.
That's just waiting to.
Yeah.
That extra trip to the emergency room.
Yeah, that there's a scene in the movie The Crow when a few of the baddies are sitting around a table in a bar and they're shooting down live bullets. You know, it's like, yeah, you don't want to relive that scene, not in real life. So, just doesn't seem like a good idea.
No.
But getting into ice and talking about cocktails and things like that a little bit, that's one of my gift ideas is get somebody a good cocktail set. If you think that's an avenue they want to explore, they want to grow in, get them some really good bitter, a set. There's usually, you can find the gift sets of some really good quality bitters. There's more in the bitter world than just Angostura. So if you really want to play around with some good flavors, get them some like Chipotle or cacao or different, just these different types of bitters to use, and maybe a good little cocktail book to go along with it to help them, discover some recipes and things. But that's one thing for me just this past year, really getting into cocktails, is I always used to kind of turn my nose up at them a little bit, but I've really discovered it's just a whole nother avenue for discovering flavors and just different flavors and ways you can use spirits. So, somebody that wants to learn or to play along, a nice cocktail kit and some good bitters would be great.
Most people don't have the shaker and stuff at home, and you think it's goofy, but when you're making a cocktail, it makes a difference between shaking and stirring and a lot of different things. So having the actual right utensils matters.
Yep.
So that was something I was going to bring up too. I was going to say that was when I was asked for something. I'm like, I don't do it enough, but when people come over, I'd like to have the stuff to be able to do it properly.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mitch brings up a good point. Make sure it's a quality cocktail kit, because I have received a shaker one time that I went to shake and stuffed shit just went everywhere. Wouldn't seal at the top. So straight to the trash can for that one. But
well, that goes along with don't give gifts people are going to be upset with.
Right.
Like, I got you this great
unless
thing.
it's someone that you want.
Well, there's that.
You drew somebody's name that you didn't want to draw. So here's this weirdly distorted cocktail shaker. One of the crafty thing, which I think it's the last thing I have pictures of to do, is you can buy the wick kits on Amazon or really probably anywhere that are for doing bottle torches. And this is one of the more elaborate kits, but basically it's a PEX coupler and then the wick. These toppers are actually, I have these and they're actually pretty crappy, but you go and you buy some simple plumbing supplies, some hangers, and I've got these this is one of my torches. It's got pipe hangers, some all thread, and then another bracket here, and fill it up full of some of the lemon tiki oil.
Right.
Does a pretty good job keeping the bugs away, and they look cool. And if you break a bottle, which I have, guess what? You probably have some more to put in its place. So it's pretty cool, and it's a good use for the Genie Willet bottles for a stationary torch, because it's got a nice big fat ass on it, and you can't really do much else with those bottles, but they do make a nice stationary torch.
I think it's a good way to reuse them.
That's a fantastic idea. Yeah, no, I was just saying that's a fantastic idea. I love that.
The kits are pretty cheap, and if you go to Lowe's and buy all the plumbing parts, you spend about maybe $3 a torch at Lowe's, and then then you got the wick and the PEX fitting, and that's it. And then the oil, which isn't much.
That's an interesting thought.
You could shake it like a rattler and see how long it takes for the bottle to disintegrate.
Right.
I don't know, but I like that, because I was going to say that's a good way to keep some of your old bottles that kind of meant something to you. I mean, I have a whole, probably 2 or 3 boxes of empty ones that I'm like, I just, they were all something special, something different. I didn't know if I was going to make lights out of them or keep them for a wall display or something. And even if you're outside, I think that would be an awesome way for like a pathway if you're having a party, kind of like instead of the tiki torches.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. That be, and
whiskey
you know,
bottles.
and I did get a couple years ago. I was gifted a bottle cutter because I was making some stuff with the bottles, so I was saving a lot of them. You know, like you said, the cool ones. Oh, I'll do this with it, do that. Well, I mean, you don't always have all the time, but you might look if you're trying to find something cool that gets done with those bottles. A local group, there's somebody that had just posted. They have a business where they make candles out of them, but all the profits go to not for profit, like for, you know, one of them was for families affected by cancer and other ones, but they just make the bottles and they just look for cool bottle donations. So you can, you know, find some like that or make a candle out of them or do things like do it yourself or find someone else who does take those on to make some interesting crafts out of.
You know,
Or you can just hoard all the bottles.
Steve Card brings up a good idea. If you want somebody to kind of, I don't know, if you know somebody who's into reading, there's some great whiskey books out there, some good authors that have written some stuff. And I think taking that next level experience and education wise, get somebody a good nosing kit. Help them learn to identify some of the notes that they're you know, experiencing in their spirit. There's some good ones from Moonshine U and other places that have some good nosing kits.
And that's one of those things that I think if you're going to a whiskey tasting or experience, I find neat is if not just the nose, but if you have like the tasting part of it where it's there, because helping to identify especially unique marzipanish flavors is just really difficult sometimes. So you need to actually have the real thing to put it together, you know. Especially around the holiday season when people are eating that so frequently.
Which, you know, that does bring up another craft idea. If you were, you know, maybe you wanted an ascot. You know, I made some ascots for people. The pattern was pretty easy. I just needed to fire up the sewing machine and do it. But you could make, you know, you could get your marzipan on and make some ascots for you and your friends for your whiskey tasting.
That's a good way to go about it.
I'm just saying.
And hold on here. I don't know if I had one more thing in here. I was going to mention this because this is, how did I not?
I think Fred should mention when tickets go on sale.
If he knows he's going to get swarmed right now, that's part of the problem.
He could just tell us so we could get ours first.
I may have mentioned that before. The Old Time Spirits. I was going to say, Will is one of the few places that also has the ability to ship to your house. And I may be in possession of something that showed up here.
Oh, you guys did. Okay.
I may have gotten some Kirschwasser and some Kirschwasser chocolate here. And if you haven't had the apple pie, I don't know. It looks like that's something that you should be thinking about getting. It's for even if it is only 35%, it is so incredibly drinkable. I'm placing an order because it will be at the holidays parties. This at the Belangi household. and the nice thing is it's not there to kill people, you know, like usually when you're having it, it's there to put people in the mood inside of like 35 minutes, or in the holiday spirit real quick. So it's nice to be having some of that where it's not overloading and it's a big punch of flavor. So if you go over there, that's one everyone can get. Plus, he does have other stuff, spirits in stock that you guys could get there as well too. And it shows up at your door. The only distiller we know that has a DSP that says legally can ship to whoever he wants, right? Kind of. I don't know what he did. I have no idea what he did, but
he talked to the right people and got the right paperwork.
I don't know. Well, he did plead his case that way. So
I know. All I know is I'd laminate the hell out of that thing. I'd secure it in resin so it can never be destroyed.
All right. Oh, you really, Oscar? You think you could do that if you didn't? I'm gonna be honest with that. The Merlot isn't that bad. It was the McRib that screwed us up that night. So
It's
you can
not
give
the
someone
taste-
Merlot.
It's not the taste of Malort. It's the aftertaste of Malort.
Oh crap!
Right. And it
Can't
doesn't
get it
go
off.
away.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away. But the McRib was the worst part of that night, no lie. But the Malort, is the Malort something you want to gift, or is it something that when family is over for Christmas and after the dinner, it's like, hey, I got to pour something special for you, especially for that uncle or nephew or whoever that you really don't like. And
That's how
Who
the
wants
card
to
game
Who wants to
started.
puke and make some more room?
right, right.
That's how the card game starts.
I've
You
got
know
a
what I
great
mean?
new whiskey. You need to, yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Why would you do that to people? Merry Christmas.
I don't have to see him for 11 and a half more months.
Right. So from
Oscar-
Malort, now let's
Oscar-
discuss politics.
Oscar's one of the people that does like it. I like how he's like strongly defending Merlot. I love
Right.
Yeah.
It could. I think that's something you could throw in a little surprise bag for the evening, but it is more just that shock and awe to reliven up the people for the evening. You know, get everyone's senses back into it. Where you're be honest, it gets to be late Christmas. Gets to be kind of a little Thanksgiving-y.
Right.
If you make it to, if you've been around everyone to like 6 o'clock, all of a sudden you've eaten that second time, and it is people just,
Yeah.
sliding off their chair while they're watching the last football game. It used to be Detroit, but who knows who it is now. Well, it's Dallas and Detroit, but who is there like the third team now? If there's like a third game, is there who's like? Is
No,
there like a
for
perennial?
Thanksgiving, no, there's just the two. Detroit because they don't have a choice, and Dallas because they shove themselves down everybody's throat. And then the third one is just strictly for extra cash for the NFL because, I don't know if you heard, but they're strapped for cash.
They need the cash surplus.
Yeah, they need it because
it's just like FIFA. It's a rainy day fund. It's a $1 billion rainy day fund. Never know. Sorry, I like to make fun of some of those entities.
Yeah.
Our Lord and Waffle House is that's not.
Fred is a known Malort lover, though.
He is
Right?
He is, but I mean, that's a kind of a fair statement. I do love Waffle House. I'm sorry, I'm not afraid to say stuff like
all
that.
good.
I don't know.
It has its time and place.
Yeah, it does. Let's see here. I think we've gone over most of the stuff we have on the list here, at least in the background of stuff. So yeah, there's some things that are a little off the side things with the coffee and everything, but most of it's, I don't know. I like Ben's thing. It's an experience. I mean, if they're really into it, being able to provide them with that day or something extra where it's a tasting experience for them, or like Mike said, kidnapping them for the day, old school style, showing up in the van. He's with his wife and just grabbing them, stealing them.
Yeah.
We'll bring them back. We'll have them back by 5. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Yeah, he thinks he's being kidnapped.
Yeah.
Just haul him out.
But those are the things that I think will be really, really interesting and leave a lasting experience. So if your local distilleries do something like that, and most of them are doing something a little different, a little twist, that you could go to, that you could sign up for, that could make the experience that much better. Those are the things I think that will leave a lasting impression. Some of the other stuff is fun. I'm getting my sign at some point, so I don't care. But I highly suggest that. You'll see it behind me at the new digs. I don't know when that gets done, but that's coming up quick.
Not a bad idea to wrap up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What else? What's some stuff that you
Okay, here's
disliked
what don't
getting?
buy. unless you walk in and unless you see it and it's at retail, don't go out, don't buy somebody allocated stuff. If someone says, I really want this, don't go buying any whiskey for secondary prices unless you're really trying to impress them. It's the only thing that you can get. You don't mind spending $125 for a bottle of Blanton's. That's all on you if you want to do it. Don't buy them anything allocated because there are so many other alternatives, things that are so much better.
Yeah.
But again, if you walk in there and if there's a bottle of Weller 12 or Weller 107 at retail sitting on the shelf, by all means, you should buy it. But you should not go to some store that's charging extra money for it, and you should not buy it off a secondary. That's my recommendation, unless that's your thing. If that's what you want to do, and you got the cash, you want to burn it, you really got to do it, go for it. But don't spend that money. Buy something really awesome, craft, awesome local stuff we've had on here. We've 99% of the stuff that we've had on here we bought, so we like it. We weren't forced into it, so
we're forced into it.
Right.
No one was leaning on you for that review.
Yeah, holding a family member ransom. Say good things about my shitty whiskey.
Yeah. Speaking of shitty whiskey,
hey, yeah, that's true. I wasn't even gonna go there. I don't think they had to.
I'm hoping that gets turned around. Just based on the sample that we had, it sucked.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things you could do to make that better. Maybe just a glass bottle. Maybe, I don't know. There's, all sorts of things you could do. Could have just hired Ben instead. Now he's working for someone else. Get a whole different logo.
Yep.
That's right.
That's all right.
All good.
I don't know. What something else you wouldn't get?
Honestly, kind of like the Whiskey Stones thing, stay away from the gimmicky looking stuff.
Yeah, like there's some glasses that have Mount Fuji in it.
I was gonna say I've gotten a glass with a little notch cut out for the cigar thing, and it's awkward. It just doesn't work.
Because you're limited by cigar size,
right?
But one of my friends has one, and he's like, "Yeah, it gets to a point you can't use it with the glass because it gets the glass too hot on one corner." And
right. Or if you're gonna, you're wanting to do an old fashioned, or you want to throw some ice in it, then guess what? The glass is going to sweat and it's going to soak your cigar. And it's just think about it. Stuff that looks kind of gimmicky, because there's for every kind of hobby out there, there's the whole gimmick world, and just stay away from that. Look for things that are classy and that are is going to be stand the test of time, if you will. So. Yeah.
Decanters.
Yeah,
I'd stay away from
decanters or a no.
I mean, some of them look cool and they're neat, but a lot of the neat ones, I don't know what the hell happened. My phone just shut the fuck off, and all of a sudden I thought the whole stream was done, and I had to hop back in.
Apple said it's sleepy time.
So. Decanters. I don't find that exciting. I mean, and what are you doing? Putting.
That's a horrible idea, Oscar. Why would you stay away?
You got to search outside your neighborhood, Oscar.
Right.
Fred,
that's one place. That's one place you don't keep it local, buddy.
Fred, I can see it as like an infinity bottle, but for a lot of people don't view it that way, and they'll see it as something they're supposed to store their whiskey in, and not their iffy lower end whiskey. They'll put some fancy in there and then do some damage to it quickly. And that's all I feel. I just feel bad in that aspect. But yeah, for what?
Word up, Emily.
What else? Anything else you guys would stay away from in particular?
I don't know anything I'd stay away from.
A gift you get that you would be like, not thrilled about getting?
Well, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm. I thought of
That's a
something I
really
would
good question.
get. You think about that. The other thing I thought of, if it was a spirits-minded person, would be an absinthe luge, because that involves like 4, 6, a lot of people. Makes it a fun environment once again, and creates an evening for someone who likes that. I think
Yeah.
I think it's a cool piece. You know,
An
as
absinthe
far
fountain
as
would be great. If anybody's looking for gift ideas,
But yeah, that would be something. When you see it, you just think it's a neat contraption. Plus, they're usually classy looking. It's not like this rundown, shitty thing. They usually look a little elegant. So
I'll refrain from making any comments.
Damn it, Matt. I get there's nothing to stay away from, but one thing I thought of, which I don't know why I didn't think about this before, but if you, that somebody has a favorite distillery, and let's say it's a craft distillery, because they would be most likely to oblige. Let's say you like, for instance, Wood Hat Spirits, or Deerhammer or French Lick or something, but you were able to get a hold of them and say, it's their favorite whiskey, absolutely, and we love cornbread. Would you guys ever sell any of your grain so we can make some cornbread?
hell yeah.
Something like that. Maybe not everybody would oblige, but I think you'd get a few of them who would.
They'd be intrigued by what you were doing. You know what I
Yes.
mean? That's something different. That's a neat request, and that is a lot of way. In the past, a good way that people found out what some of the flavors were going to be coming out of it, or at least they thought so. So
yeah, make some cool stuff.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that really to avoid. I mean, I think we've mentioned the big ones,
Right.
So, all right, I'm good with that. I think those are some good gift ideas if you haven't. But yeah, that little extra bump, that extra question, is going to put you in that category that's going to make it memorable. Just like with that last bit, if you're asking for the grain, someone has to go through and do it. They're making a special trip just for you, besides just sending it out. But it does let you taste a lot of different flavors. I mean, a lot of different blue corns. I mean, there's Bloody Butcher. When you bake with each of those, or maybe pan fry some fish with it, you get some really neat flavors that you weren't expecting. Or maybe you were expecting, but compared to your typical like batter for fish or your cornbread, it's a different level,
Yes, it is.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping in the chat. We're going to be getting off here in a minute. I am going to be getting out later this week the samples for everyone who won them a couple weeks ago. Sorry about that, but that'll be coming out. So, just want to let everyone know that it is up. They are on their way. Are you past your COVID release, Mike? Are you good?
I'm good. I didn't have it. I
COVID
just
scare?
had to do all my. I did that, and I sent all the stuff off, and I think everybody has received everything by now.
Oh, very good. You're on top of it. I love that. All right, folks. So, oh my God. Sorry, I almost shut it off real quick there. Thank you for stopping in. We had a wonderful night. These are some good ideas for everyone to have. I don't know. Stop in next week. We're going to be probably doing a set of reviews next week, and then we'll be, we're getting into December. We're looking at Whiskey of the Year discussion when we start putting that out.
Right.
Because that's going to be a process. Let's be honest. I thought it was bad last year, and this is it's overwhelming.
I think we're going to have a lot of categories.
I don't even know if it's next year. It's all notebooks starting on day one. Like there's no, I forgot to write something down. There's some I remember, and I'm going to have to go back to review them.
Mm-hmm.
Shucks. Guess that's what Santa does. Wait up for him. Sample some whiskeys. I don't know. Let me find a bottle here. Do you have one for a bottle pull?
I got a glass.
A glass.
It's a nice big old fat glass.
There you go.
It is. All right, I got a bottle here. Ben doesn't have anything.
Hang on a second.
I heard he had a rough day this weekend, so I hear
Just
he's
slightly.
in recovery. Were you not even drinking anything this evening? Were you just sipping on water?
And tea and coffee.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, cheers, everyone out there. May have a good holiday season. Remember, these gifts are well worth it, and everyone should be getting them. And if you don't know what to do, send your friends here so they can see what they should be getting you or their friends. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.